Hello, it's Pastor Penny, and it's Thursday, June 4th. And today will be George Floyd's memorial service. I've been watching different accounts and of protests and walks for peace and huge areas that are memorials to George Floyd. And there's a clergy walk going on right now in Detroit. And so I looked at today's daily lectionary and found Psalm 143 that I thought was especially interesting given the state of our nation and all the unrest and all the grief that's going on. So Psalm 143 is a what's called a penitential psalm, and there are 6 before that in all the psalms. And so it's supposed to be saying, if you're penitent, you're sorry, please forgive me. And that's often just so hard for us, isn't it? I'm sorry. Saying it to a person is hard enough, but for a lot of us, saying it to God is just something so many people either can't do or they won't do. So I just thought this was fascinating because it doesn't sound penitent to me. It sounds like you better forgive me, Lord, or else. It's kind of the attitude. And so I'm going to be reading back and forth between the Message and the New International Version because I think it's just really interesting the way they bounce off of each other. So, and this is a prayer of Psalm of David. So it starts out in the Message, listen to this prayer of mine, God. Pay attention to what I'm asking. Answer me. You're famous for your answers. Do what's right for me, but please don't haul me into court. Not a person alive would be acquitted there. And so the NIV says, listen to my cry for mercy. In your faithfulness and righteousness, come to my relief. Now that sounds a little different, doesn't it? A little bit nicer. Do not bring your servant into judgment, for no one living is righteous before you. Really different tones. And then it continues in the Message, the enemy hunted me down. He kicked me and stomped me within an inch of my life. He put me in a black hole, which the NIV calls going down to the pit. Buried me like a corpse in that dungeon. I sat there in despair, my spirit draining away, my heart heavy like lead. I remembered the old days, went over all you've done, pondered the ways you've worked, stretched out my hands to you, as thirsty for you as a desert is thirsty for rain. Show me the way I should go, says the NIV. For to you I lift up my soul. Rescue me from my enemies, O Lord. Teach me to do your will. For you are my God. May your good spirit lead me on level ground. But now, here's the Message. Hurry with your answer, God. Not show me the way I should go. I'm nearly at the end of my rope. Don't turn away. Don't ignore me. That would be certain death. If you wake me each morning with the sound of your loving voice, I'll go to sleep each night trusting in you. That sounds like bargaining, something, something we don't do with God. I mean, we all have done it, I think, but I don't know if God really works that way. Point out the road I must travel. I'm all ears, all eyes before you. Save me from my enemies, God. You're my only hope. Teach me how to live to please you, because you're my God. Lead me by your blessed Spirit into cleared and level pasture land. And this says, may your good spirit lead me on level ground. That's NIV. And then the last little bit is, for your name's sake, O Lord, preserve my life. The Message says, keep up your reputation, God. Give me life. In your justice, get me out of this trouble. In your great love, vanquish my enemies. Make a clean sweep of those who harass me. And why? Because I'm your servant. So the NIV says, in your righteousness, bring me out of trouble. In your unfailing love, silence my enemies. Destroy all my foes, for I am your servant. So that's supposed to be a psalm of penitence, but it doesn't sound that way, at least in a lot of in different versions. Actually, both versions don't sound that way. So think about asking for forgiveness from God. Think about all the people protesting right now, and maybe the violent part has ended, so these are peaceful protests. And they're saying, and they're in their ways, especially this clergy group, they're appealing to God. We need help, God. Forgive us for all we have done. So I hope some of that resonates with you, and maybe we can pray that it will resonate with people all over the country who are understandably very upset and grieving. Blessings.